There's been an Iranian submarine, which I beg your pardon, an Iranian warship sunk by an American submarine.
It's now a submarine.
It is now a submarine. But then there are a lot of people in my country who are fairly offended by the fact that this Iranian warship was in Visakhapatnam. It was participating in the International Fleet Review. It was probably unarmed, and it was headed home. I know you can always argue that, this is war. But then there's the other argument that, why attack an essentially unarmed ship and a really small one far away from home, which is not really participating in the war as well? And where does that leave India?
Yeah, I mean, you saw that Sri Lanka offered safe port to another Iranian vessel that was participating.
And good on them for doing that.
That.
It's a fairly courageous thing for the Sri Lankans to have stood up to America, presumably, and said, no, that's not on. These sailors are coming into our country. We'll take the ship elsewhere.
Yeah, but I mean, I understand why they did it. And I'm not surprised that India didn't. Of course, Prime Minister Modi was just in Israel literally 2 days before the hostilities started. He obviously was comfortable. He knew that the war was imminent and likely. Didn't stop him from showing support to the Israeli Prime Minister at all. So India's obviously leaning on one side of these hostilities and providing some cover for the Americans and the Israelis in that regard. And that means also providing some ownership of some of these strikes that are very hard to justify. It is unusual, to say the least, that you would engage in blowing up a ship that may well be unarmed and certainly was welcomed as part of these multilateral ceremonies that the Americans were going to participate in themselves, by the way.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they did.
So I think they pulled out at the last minute, my understanding.
I'll have to check on that. But no, I take your point.